We got our jars heating up. As you can see, the water is not boiling, but we want our jars sterile and hot. Good morning. Today's the day that Lippy proves the South will win the Chow Chow. I'm just joking. Y'all, Miss Jan was texting me last night. She said, I got this. I said, we shall see. Is there any other channels out there like mine? I seriously doubt it. But y'all saw that the video started with me rinsing the Chow Chow. We had talked about that yesterday. So that's all I did is I emptied the jar. I rinsed it. I did taste it. It doesn't have enough heat that I need to list it as hot. But I'm going to add some red pepper flakes. Remember, that's optional. I want this Chow Chow to have heat, not blistering. But like I said, y'all can leave the hot jalapenos out. Do that no heat jalapeno, no jalapeno. Red pepper flakes, no red pepper flakes. You know, that is just an add-on to the original recipe, as I said yesterday. So all I did was rinse the vegetables. I've got them sitting in a colander over in a bowl. Now we're going to make the brine. Oh, and you also saw that my jars are heating up. There's no vinegar in the water yet. I will add a splash of vinegar to that water, just a splash, right before my jars go in. And what that does is that helps to ensure that that cloudy water deposit, that film that gets on jars, it keeps it away. For the most part, it keeps it away. You may get a little residual, but if you didn't add that splash of vinegar, I don't care if you're on well water, city water, whatever, you'll get that little enzyme, that cloud look to your jars, and it's hard to get off. So there's no vinegar in there, but my jars are in there. Now, I may not use all 8 of these pints. I may. It really depends on the size of your chopping. Mine is semi-fine, but it's not like pulverized. So now we're going to start on the brine. Get that going. Okay, so I got to move this thing over there so we can get the brine going. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so you've not missed a step. Rinse your vegetables, set to the side, get your brine going. Make sure you have hot jars. This is hot going in, so you don't want to put hot vegetables in a cold jar. You asking for trouble. Hey, Jan, are you writing notes and learning anything? 8 cups of vinegar. And what I did is I divided my vinegar. I've got 4 cups apple cider, 4 cups of 5% distilled white vinegar. You can use all white vinegar, all apple cider vinegar. I opted to split it today. 4 cups of water, 8 cups of pure cane sugar. Guys, don't use that beet sugar. You keep pure cane sugar on hand. And the reason why you can tell when people use beet sugar, it'll get hard and clumpy and they have to beat it. You need to stay with pure cane sugar. 2½ teaspoons celery seed. 3 teaspoons turmeric. Now, if you wanted to be precise, you could take your finger and square it off. A little extra doesn't hurt. 4 tablespoons yellow mustard seed. 2 teaspoons red pepper flakes. Remember, this is optional. You could do 1. You could do none. You could do more. Now we're going to get this incorporated. I've got my heat on high. I want to bring this up to a boil, not a rolling boil, but just a good steady boil before we add our vegetables. But we're going to let it boil 4 to 5 minutes before we add those vegetables. Now you're asking, where's the black peppercorn? Here it is. I personally do not like peppercorn floating in my Chow Chow. So I use a T-mesh. I'm going to drop it in. That way I can retrieve it out. All right, I got my station ready. Got my vinegar. Got my paper towel. My debubbler. So while that brine is heating up, coming to a boil, that's when you can get your station ready. It's just best to have everything set and ready. It makes the process easier. It also makes it more enjoyable. But I wanted to show y'all this. Now, I've said it before, but I got a lot of new canners that's following me. When you're measuring dry ingredients, as I did with the sugar, you saw the sugar just in a pot. This is a dry measure, okay? These, like this, is liquid. I was actually asked that question. Well, if I don't have one of these, can I use that? Yes, you can. You'll be close. But if you really want a precise measurement, this is for dry. And then I take the back. Here's one right here. A back of a butter knife. Okay? And when I scoop, I take the back side and I level. Okay? That really applies more to baking. But it's a good practice in anything. Now, as you can see, I kind of eyeballed a lot of my dry ingredients. That's to taste. Really and truly, it's to taste. The vinegar, the proper amount of salt at the start to get the brine going on the vegetables. Remember that salt brought out all the natural liquid, okay? The vinegar has to be precise. Your seasoning, somewhat, but it doesn't have to be. Kind of like the red pepper flakes, kind of like the jalapenos. I said in the previous video yesterday, you have your 4 main ingredients. Don't shorten your sugar. That's actually a preservative. Don't shorten when you're pulling the water out of your vegetables with the canning salt. And do not shorten your vinegar. Now, you can mix the two, use one or the other. Don't shorten it. There is certain things that you need to do. And then when it comes to water bathing, I will show one again, like I normally do. There is a proper way to water bath. There's also a way to water bath that you will get a false seal. And that is when you're adding your hot jars, such as, say, this Chow Chow. If that water is rolling boil and I'm putting in there, I'm subject to have failure. You want your water hot, hot water, hot jars. Then when the water comes up to a rolling boil is when that timer starts. Now we're talking about water bathing, not pressure canning, okay? Pressure canning, room temperature water. I never heat my water in a pressure canner. I just do room temperature, okay? But that's on another video when we pressure can. But we're talking about water bathing right now. And some of you new ones, you know, that water's boiling. You've seen other ones do it. Oh, okay. You're going to ask for failure. It's just simple, you know. It's just simple. And I hope that I'm doing pretty good at explaining. Now, am I the lady who wrote Ball Book? Hell no, I ain't the lady who wrote Ball Book. But I read my Ball Book and my Bible. Almost identical. Hey, Jan, are you still taking notes on proper water bathing? Y'all, the times we are in right now suck. So if we can have some fun and goat with one another, all in gist of love and laughter, why not? I think a lot of that is missing out there. There's so much doom and gloom, although it is true, very true. Some I don't even think express it the volume. There are some channels that just throw it out there, and I totally agree with them. I'm trying to bring something else in, just a little bit of laughter, a little bit of fun, you know, sharing a recipe. We need that too. We need to be educated and know what's happening in the world, but at the same time, whatever's happening is going to happen. It's got to find its end. None of us know what that is. But in the mix of it, 10, 15, 20-minute video, or if you're Lippy, it could be 30. Let's enjoy each other. You know, let's smile with each other. Let your friends, your neighbors know they're not alone. None of us are alone as long as we have this platform. So, I'm going to sit down, drink me a little coffee. I'm going to bring you back when it starts that boil. We're going to let it go 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, you saw that I let the brine come to a boil for 4 minutes. You saw I added the vegetables. Now we're going to let the vegetables come back up to a steady boil, and we're going to steady boil for 10 minutes. Isn't that gorgeous? Here's our first jar. Now, it is hot, guys. And I'm just going to stir the Chow Chow around. Ooh, that is hot. And we're going to ladle it up. Now, as you can see, I'm not using this spoon like I did on my squash relish. I want the juice and the vegetables together. And I always tend to stir as I scoop. Now, I am going to leave a 1/2 inch of headspace. That looks good. All right. Move this out of the way. We got to debubble. Even though you're thinking, well, it's liquid, you still want to debubble. And then what I do is I just bounce mine down. I am so glad I saw this bar mat years ago. I say years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I saw Miss Wanda at Deep South use this bar mat. And I was like, oh my goodness, she's got a bar mat. Never thought about that. I immediately found one and I purchased it. Now, I am cleaning my rim well. Now, the way that I do it is I turn my jar. I'm getting the top and this outside, but I'm also checking for any nicks in this glass. Take a flat. Now, you're going to see me use gold and silver rings. If I'm water bathing, I don't mind using the gold rings because my rings do not stay on my jars. Tomorrow, I will take the rings off, check my seal, and I store mine without the rings. So I don't mind using the gold ones. All right, we're going to get one more. Jan, you still taking notes? We retrieved the peppercorn. I've got 9 pints. Ooh, that steam getting you. I've probably got another 6. So I'm going to get this batch in the water bath canner. There's 9 pints going in. When that water comes to a rolling boil, put your lid on, set your timer for 10 minutes on these pints. I got my Chow Chow sitting on the back burner on low, and this way it'll maintain its heat. Our 9 pints are in the canner. Put the lid on. Let's bring it up to a boil. Boil for 10 minutes with the lid on. Remember to add your splash of vinegar before your jars go in. I'm hearing them pop. We yielded 14 pints of Chow Chow. Now y'all remember, cover them, put them to bed for 24 hours. What this cover does is if there's a failure in a jar, it's going to hold the glass in. So there you have it. Chow Chow. Did y'all see that fly? Oh, we can't have a... I hear a ding too. Flies, jar dings, it's all good. It's Lippy's world. But I hope you tried. I noticed a lot of comments. Remember Chow Chow as a youngster. Didn't get the recipe. Maybe this recipe is similar to what you remember. But y'all, most of you know that I'm a traditional canner. I normally don't go outside my box. But Miss Jan over at Not a Real Farm, she's a young channel. So if you like her content, you know, show her some love. But she does things not so traditional. She actually thinks outside the box, and it makes sense. There's some of her recipes that I personally will try. I never thought of. Most of the time, I'm just, like I say, I'm just a very traditional cook, canner. That's my comfort zone. But I'd like to broaden. And she's a pretty good one to follow for that. So, show her some love. I still win the Chow Chow. Just saying, Jan. No, I'm just joking, y'all. Y'all know me. And you'll get to know her. And you'll see very similar humor. So, until next time, as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. This was a blast. Couldn't ask for a better lady to join in.